Welcome to Come Get Woo Woo. We're your hosts, Becky and Ro, here to hold space for the unseen, the unspoken, and the deeply felt. This is a place for seekers, for those who sense that there's more, for those who hear between the words, feel beyond the room, and know without knowing why.
Together, we'll explore the language of spirit, the clarity of your clairs, and the signs that rise up when you're ready to notice. You're not imagining it, you're remembering it. This is Come Get Woo Woo.
Hey, Woo Woo Seekers. Welcome to today's episode of Come Get Woo Woo with Becky and Ro. I'm Becky.
And I'm Ro. Before we dive into today's episode of Messages in Motion, what Spirit revealed this month, let's do a check-in. So, Becky, what's new?
Well, I had my very first mini Orapalooza, and actually it went really well. I had 3 different people that were interested in their numerology, and it was a lot of fun. It was totally scared. But, once you get into the mode of it, it just kind of flows. And it worked out really well. It was good. And my teacher happened to be there. So I was like, oh, crap. He's like, I could see the energy actually flowing. So, yeah, it was really neat. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yes. And then I just got back from going to Nashville, Tennessee. I took my mom there for her birthday. So, happy birthday, Mom. Delated. Yeah.
And how was Tennessee?
It was colder than I thought it was going to be. Yeah. So, my mom and I talked about this. If it had been 10 degrees warmer, then it would be perfect. But it was in the 30s, which, I'm from Minnesota, so it's not that big of a deal, except for I thought it was going to be in the 40s. I had a light jacket. So that didn't bode well. And then we came back and it's negative like 500. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but it was at least negative 10, I think. I don't know. And the wind chill was horrible. So, yeah.
I'm cold at 16 degrees here, so I just can't imagine negative anything.
Well, I guess further north, International Falls area and stuff like that, the wind chill was negative like 40 or something like that. It was just ridiculous. I'm like, no, thank you. So, yeah. How about yourself?
Well, we've released the Soul Garden meditations. So the meditations are created to pair directly with the Woo Woo Seeker's Journal, Answers from Your Soul. So what comes through during meditation can land on the page with clarity instead of confusion. So we're hoping everyone is enjoying them.
Yeah, I downloaded and actually listened to some on the airplane. So, off air, we'll talk about that.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. I want to hear your input. So also, as we continue creating and teaching and showing up all the ways we do, we talked about this. We realize the importance of honoring our energy and capacity. So with our current workload being fuller than usual, we decided to simplify and focus on just 2 words a week instead of the 3. And this will allow us to slow down, go deeper, and give each word the attention and intention it truly deserves. So the experience stays meaningful, grounded, and supported.
I agree completely, to the point where I even forgot to do one of the words because of it. So I'll let you know that one.
I was on a marathon to do 9 words this week.
As we've talked about before, we'll be taking these words one at a time, sharing what came through for us across the clairs. You may not, and we may not, receive messages for every sense each time, and that's okay. As your clairs get stronger, other senses may appear, And revisiting the same word can reveal even more layers of guidance over time. There are bonus prompts for each of the words in our books. We encourage you to take a deeper dive into these at home. We will not be sharing the bonus prompts for these episodes. Now, spirit might communicate differently with each of us. Sometimes one Claire is stronger for me and another for Ro. This is why spirit adapts its messages so we can receive guidance in the way we are most able to understand it and act on it. That's the beauty of building a spiritual dictionary. Every time we practice and share, we're expanding our understanding of how spirit communicates through everyday life. So let's get into today's episode. Now, each week we have given you words from the Woo Woo Seekers Journal series. And today is the day that Ro and I share our experiences, building the spiritual dictionary together with everybody who's playing along. So we had messages that were very similar for both of us with the words contentment and courage. The imagery was different, but the meaning landed in the same place. It showed how spirit can speak in different languages while delivering the same truth. Now, last month felt a little bit different. With determination and chair, the messages didn't line up neatly. And that's okay. Spirit meets each of us where we are with what we need and not with a matching script. So that's the best part about this. Determination was one of the words where I received a message about focus and precision, concentration, repetitiveness, and the pressure of getting things exactly right came through, right? Along with knowing that determination alone isn't the full answer. It narrows your perception way too much. So now Ro experienced determination in more of a physical effort and persistence. So, if you remember, she was struggling with the boulder, the resistance, and adapting when something felt too heavy to move outright. And that was her boulder. Two very different messages, and one about refining and awareness, and one is about endurance and continuing despite difficulties. So I thought it was pretty cool, that we had such different reactions to the same word.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So then we had the word chair. So for Ro, she was shown the comfort, safety, and companionship, the place to be held, to soften. What chair was it? Wasn't it from the Sacred Tree chair?
Yes, but it was a little different, because it was much softer and cozier, and it was almost like a cloud.
Yeah. Yeah. So where mine was completely different, the chair that I saw was a sturdy wooden chair. And the chair to me meant rest, but not permanent, just temporary. So the knowing that you can stand too long creates discomfort. So like if you're sitting in one place way too long, you're going to feel that discomfort. And again, the imagery in different messages. One was about support and persistence, and one was about movement and momentum. It shows how the same word can open completely different doors depending on how someone receives a message. So one word, two truths, neither cancels out each other. They just complete the picture. So that's what the fun thing about all of this is, seeing how they represent.
So we'll be starting with the first book of the Woo Woo Seekers Journal, A Journey for Your Signs and Symbols. This book breaks it down into 3 categories: emotions and state, people and places, and everyday objects. If you don't have a copy, no worries, just grab a notebook and follow along. But if you want a copy, hop on over to comegetwoowoo.com and click on the Woo Woo Seekers Journals, and from there it'll send you to a link directly to Amazon. Or you can go over to Amazon and do a search on the Woo Woo Seekers Journals, and you'll see all of our journals listed there. So whether it's an emotion, a person, a place, or even an everyday object, spirit leaves messages everywhere if we slow down and tune in. These messages give us space to practice, compare, and grow our spiritual language together. We've come prepared with the 9 words we'll be focusing on, and we're excited to see what Spirit reveals for each of the clairs. As we share our experience, you'll notice how uniquely each of us receives guidance. Spirit speaks in many ways, and sometimes the smallest, most ordinary signs carry the biggest messages. So this month, our 9 words fall into 3 categories. And here are the categories and words. Emotions and state, euphoria, excitement and fear, people and places, elder, father, and forest, and everyday objects, coin, compass, and cup. Okay, so now for the fun part. We didn't talk about our experiences ahead of time. So just like you, we're hearing it as fresh as we go. So grab your journal, open your senses, and join us as we see what Spirit revealed this month. I'm going to dive in today. I'm going to start us off with euphoria. So euphoria brought me back to Paris. This was my dream trip, as I always wanted to go to Paris. And it's funny, Anastasia, she didn't really want to go to Paris, so she went to Paris for me. Anastasia and I were in the city of Paris, and I just loved everything about Paris. Most of the buildings are decorated with flowers, and that's what we were doing. So we were just admiring how pretty everything was. And it's such a quiet city. So then the next scene switched to Norway and us feeding the reindeers. It was wet, cold, rainy, and I could feel like my shoes sticking in the mud. But it was so cool to be surrounded by all these reindeers, because I love animals. So the deer won't let me pet them when they're in my backyard. Not that I've tried, but
I was just going to say, I would assume Annie and Katara probably rushed them off anyway.
Yeah, it's so funny. I had a deer that was hanging out. You've seen my yard. They jump over the fence, and I was so close to this deer. So I just wanted to reach out and pet her, but yeah, and the dogs usually chase them away. So the reindeer were raised by the Sami people. So afterwards, we went in the tent to hear all about their culture. And then on the bus ride back, they stopped to show us the Northern Lights because up until then, we didn't see them. And so that was really cool. There was like no knowing, no dropping of words and stuff. So I think it was just a reminder of what euphoria really feels like, because it was just, both trips were like so memorable.
Oh, yeah. Well, mine was so different. It did involve an animal, though. And so what it was is I visualized a soaring eagle.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is what I saw. I got very little for this one. I got the eagle soaring, I saw that, and I could feel like if I was the eagle and I could feel the wind hitting my face. And the only thing I got with that was the thought of euphoria, kind of that what you imagine euphoria is the ultimate state of peace. Just kind of that peace. That was what euphoria spoke to me. And like I said, very vastly different, but also with an animal. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, and since we were both talking about animals,
Yes,
we'll also be highlighting 2 animal focuses each month.
I know it's going to be fun. And we'll remind you again later. And basically what we're doing. Okay. So we'll be highlighting 2 animal focuses each month. These animals aren't going to be any meditations. They're invitation to notice the energy, behavior, and the presence in the world around you, and to see what resonates in your own experiences. So the words that you're going to find are coming from the Woo Woo Seeker's Journal, the guide to getting clarity with your clairs. And 2 animals that we're actually going to focus on are bear and blue jay next month. So, all right. So do we want to go to our next one? Excitement?
Yes, I'll do excitement.
Good, because I will tell you what happened with excitement.
So for the first thing I see for excitement is I'm on a roller coaster.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah.
Is it the Coney Island one?
No. It's just a roller coaster.
Dang it. I've been on that one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I have too. So I'm usually not a roller coaster person. Then I switched over, and then Anastasia and I are on the swing rides. So young Anastasia. So I'm watching her have a ball, and then we're on the pirate ship and the same thing. I'm just watching her, and we're not at like a big theme park, but like those small little fairs that they have with rides.
Yeah, like a county fair.
Mm-hmm. It's busy and noisy. There's a mixture of smells of hot dogs, Zeppelis. And I'm just seeing her through all of milestones, prom, all of her graduations. And they're all proud moments. But it was as if I was feeling her excitement as well. So the knowing I got was sometimes we get entangled in our own feelings, but take the moment to feel the excitement for others, like stepping into the other person's shoes. Feel what they feel, and you'll experience a whole new world.
Very cool. That's cool. I'm not going to lie. In all the excitement of traveling and doing my first thing at Echoes, I forgot to do excitement. So I have nothing.
I did excitement today. So it's funny, though, that the first 2 ones are with Anastasia.
I know. But you know what? There's such a, like, even with my daughter, there's such a big part of our lives. So it doesn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm. Did you want to do fear?
I will. Now, fear was very interesting. So when I went into meditation, I saw a man. Best way to describe it is he was like curled up in a ball. He had chains wrapped all around him. So several different types of chains. His mouth is taped. He can't say anything. I smelt like that. You know how you sweat because you're the anxiety and stuff like that comes up. So that was what I smelt. That sweaty, fearful, what I assume fear would be, right? I heard mumbling, like he was trying to speak, but the words were couldn't be heard. So it's just a mumbling. I also felt like this paralyzing sensation. That's the best way I can describe it. Like I couldn't move, I couldn't do anything. Like I was just paralyzed. And the knowing, this was just, my gosh. So the knowing is we become prisoners of our own mind because of fear. Yeah.
Very deep.
Very deep.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the airplane while I was doing that. I was like, oh, okay.
In anxiety, I saw like a chevron pattern.
Yep,
So
I remember.
It had the thin black and white lines, like not even in a straight pattern, as that they were veering down towards the right from my point of view, looking at them. So for fear, I saw another chevron pattern. So these were going straight in a line, and it was black and white, except for it had a shadowing of red. I felt fear, but not in a way of fearing for my life. I didn't hear anything, but it felt as if my ears were clogged, as if I was feeling fear stops you from hearing. And the knowing is sometimes fear brings on anxiety, like taking that first step into something. But sometimes fear is coming from inside of you, and you need to listen. And then sometimes fear comes from the outside world. And if fear comes from the outside, you need to stop listening to their fear. So basically, basically you need to understand where your fear is coming from.
That's especially with everything that's going on, that's a beautiful thing of like, owning your own fear and not somebody else's. Wow. Very, very cool. Very cool. So next is people and places.
Yes. The elder.
Elder. Do you want to start with elder or do you want me to?
I could start.
Okay.
I'm reading. I was like, oh, okay. So I was.
Isn't it amazing sometimes that you're like, wait a minute, did I write that? No. Yeah. But, because when you're in the zone, a lot of times you don't realize that's why you have to write it down right away because you forget what you actually get.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because many times I was like, oh, let me get up and do something. And,
We've talked about that. That doesn't work for us.
No, especially not me.
Yes. All right. What do you have for elder?
So I was brought back to the scene with the mountain and teepees down below that I had with like clarity and contentment. And sitting there was a lady. Her hair was dark. She had it pinned up. She had her thick leather glove that went up to her arm, and perched on her arm was an eagle. She was wearing red, and I sat beside her. We didn't talk. We just sat and admired the beauty of the landscape. And I felt a love and a sense of respect toward her. And the eagle watched and didn't make a sound. We were just there to be. And the word that came to me was wisdom.
Wow.
It's funny how two together. That's why I was like, oh, I'm back to a different meditation that I did.
But that's the beauty part is it tells a story.
Mm-hmm.
There's a story within a story within the meditation, and it just builds on it. And that's the whole premises of these journals, is to build on what you already know and what you're getting now, to take it to a different level.
Yes.
So I think it's beautiful. Yeah. So now my elder was completely not what I thought it was going to be. In fact, as I'm reading it, because, obviously we just talked about it, is sometimes you write it down and you kind of forget. What I actually saw is, and now it's jogging my memory. It was a boy sitting next to a dog, and it was a brown dog. And I kept on kind of feeling like it was like, like he was wearing overalls. It was more of a country scene. And it was like they were sitting on the dock. But the dog's arm was around the boy. Okay. This was the knowing that I got. And again, I didn't get much more than this. Those that don't have a voice are sometimes the greatest teachers. So completely different. I thought, a shaman, or, like you would think elders, but it took it to a different, because I think for me, the word elder meant teachers. And there's so many different avenues for a teacher. My kid teaches me all the time. Animals do the same thing.
Absolutely.
They rely on you because they don't have a voice. Well, sometimes they do, but but for the most part, they don't have a voice, so they have to rely on you. So treating those like you would like to be treated is just, it kind of felt like that was kind of where it was going. Yeah,
And dogs, they teach you about unconditional love.
absolutely. So next word we have is father. Do you want me to take that first or do you want to?
Mine's wild one.
It's a wild one. Okay, then I'll go first and we'll leave yours to the wild because mine's pretty traditional. Ro, you know that my family, very close family. We do a lot together. I spend a lot of time with both my dad and my mom. Um, so I saw an older version of my dad. In fact, I believe it's the picture that I used in one of our classes once of my dad kind of looking up and smiling, right? Um,
Mm.
so my dad and I danced at my wedding to my ex, and that's what I saw. And the two people are very different. So the older version is he's got gray hair, and when he and I were dancing at my wedding, he had dark hair and a mustache and totally looked different. And I heard his words to me at one point in my life. He said, I did the best job I knew how to do.
Mm.
Um, and for him, that meant he remembered our birthdays and he provided for us. Those were the two things that were so important to him because they were not given to him. As a job, if you will, is to do better than what your parents did. And, it's to evolve and eventually we'll someday get it right, I guess. I also could smell my dad's cologne, which is very distinctive. And then I also felt like, when he and I were dancing, he was holding my hand and we're dancing, right? I could feel him holding my hand.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah. So I guess a little touching moment, if you will. I encourage everyone to thank their parents for the job that they did because every single one of us do as well as we know how to do.
I think that kids appreciate it more when they become parents.
I agree. I agree.
Like, oh, you get it. So I loved your father.
I know. So let's hear your held one. So what is it?
So I was brought back to the church that I grew up in. So
Okay.
there was a priest. The Catholic world, we call a priest father. He was a little on the bigger side. He was balding, though he didn't seem old. Like maybe he was like in his 50s. He was wearing like a red robe and, like one of those white scarves. And behind him, an archangel showed up. And all I really saw were the wings. I didn't get like, what did they look like? Or just, that's all I saw was the wings. And I think it was Archangel Uriel. And I'm not sure if it was him because I just created a meditation with him. And I think I was just in awe, but at the same time, I'm like, what the heck is going on here? So smelling, there was like a smell of incense and stuff. And the knowing, or I think what I got was more of a channeled message, which is something I usually don't get either. And so I'm not really sure if I made it up or not, but
That's sometimes what channeling's all about. It just doesn't feel, and we're like, really? Okay.
hmm. And the message I got was time doesn't matter here like time for you. We don't feel time. It's not measured. It doesn't exist. So this was definitely a different experience for me. So that's why I called it a wild one.
No doubt. Yeah. Well, kind of like my elder. It didn't fit my narrative. It fit my soul's though.
Yeah.
So it sounds like that was yours.
Yeah. So we got forest.
So forest for me was very detailed. So if you want to go first, I encourage you to go first.
Okay. So I was greeted with a blue butterfly. And it was very like cartoonish. So it's like really, really blue, but it didn't look like a real butterfly. And it led me down these stairs. So like think of like a well. So it was like circular and made of stone, and there was moss on it. And then when we reached the bottom, we brought into a field, and it felt fun, Again, like little birds, cartoon birds, and there comes Bambi and Thumper, and
Love Bambi.
and they're leading me into the forest. Except for now, my hands are tingling, so I know there's something that needs to be healed. It was like another baby deer, and I took off my coat. And I sat next to him and put his head in my lap and wrapped him up with my coat. And, I channeled the energy healing to him, which is funny because I did do Reiki 1 and 2. I just never really kind of believed that I had the energy that could flow through me. I didn't get a knowing in words, but I think it's a message for me that I just need to believe.
I was thinking that same thing while you were talking of like, so do you believe now that your soul is actually showing you?
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that was very different too.
Hmm. Cool. Okay. So Forest, I had a lot to unpack with Forest.
Ooh, okay.
So Forest, when I first went into the meditation, I started down the path that I see when I do the sacred tree meditations. So, you're kind of walking down the forest path
Mm-hmm.
and then I arrived to our tree, so the sacred tree. And it was like it was welcoming me and talking to me at the same time. And it said, the trees of the forest are here to help all living things. We provide nourishment and shelter. And then I got this urge that was that urgency that we needed to protect them more. Does that make sense?
It does.
So I smelt the forest, like what I would assume, like a foggy, uh, dense forest would smell like, kind of has that. Um, I don't even know how to explain it. And I had this sensation that the sun was trying to fight to break free. And I realized, because me and my Western astrology, that we were the sun. So it's like we were trying to break free from the fog, lifting the fog. And that's what the sun does. It lifts the fog, right? So yeah, it was wild. That was kind of what I got. And not much more. Like I said, a little wild, a little crazy, but
Like it. It's funny. I actually thought I was going to go into the sacred tree too.
mm, yeah, it kind of really it surprised me. I mean, not going to the sacred tree didn't surprise me, but what the tree actually spoke to me about. I thought for sure that if I was going to talk to a tree, it was going to be Teddy, but no, it's our sacred tree. So, how about coin? Do we want to go to coin? Do you want to do it first?
Sure.
Okay.
So, coin I did twice.
Okay.
So the first time I pictured a coin spinning like it was on the meditation, and it looked like a penny, and then the penny was going into this dark hole, like it would if you were to put a coin in a vending machine.
Mm.
And I can hear the clicking of the coin, but I couldn't see it. And then maybe every once in a while there was like a little spark of light, like you get a shadow of a coin. And then that was that for that. So I decided, let me do this meditation again. And this time I saw a man in front of trees, like he was in a park. He was wearing like a light colored pants and shirt and a blue sweater. He kind of reminded me of Mr. Rogers, you know. I didn't get a look at his face. He's like he was holding a red ball, and I got juggling, and the ball was like super soft and squishy, and I didn't actually ever see him juggling it. I didn't get a message, but I'm sure there's some sort of like metaphors that are trying to tell me something in both meditations. So that's all I got for coin.
Well, I got some of the similar things for coin. So I also saw the spinning of the coin. And uh, when I first went in, I saw the spinning of the coin. No, it didn't land. It never landed. Um, and all I heard was choice. And I'll get to a little bit later. So that was the first thing. Then I saw myself almost like biting on a coin, like so I could taste the metal.
Oh,
Um, it was kind of weird. And I heard the words heads or tails. And then I had this knowing. Okay, so there's a quote, and I wish I knew who actually said it, because I think it's beautiful. I say it all the time. If you're not changing it, you're choosing it.
oh, wow.
So, it kind of goes into that heads or tails. Life is about choices. That's what it felt. And it kind of goes into the heads or tails, even like football. They use it for a choice, who gets to choose. But yeah, if you're not changing it, you're choosing it.
Oh, I like that. It's so true, though. Just how life is. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I like it so much. And it's one of those things that I try to keep in the back of my mind. Well, we have choices. And if we're not willing to change it, then we're choosing it.
Yes. Did you want to do it or do you want me to do it?
I can do compass. So with compass, I saw the flashes of many different kinds of compasses. And then I saw like old weathered, it's a weather vane at the top of a building.
Mm.
You
Like,
know,
like they have a rooster and stuff.
yes, 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 yes. That's exactly it. And I saw it spinning, and then I heard the words, the choice is yours. So this kind of went into coin, surprisingly, totally different. I did them at different times. I'm just going to read you what I have.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So I knew that the weather vane was representing past and present, like the nodes of fate in Western astrology. You have the North Node and South Node. So if you're heading north, you're going into the future. If you're heading into the past, you're going south. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So basically, what it was the universe asking me if I was wanting to stay in the past, the south, or if you want to choose the future. And was I sick of living in the past yet? So, yeah, it was kind of weird, but yeah. Hmm?
I don't see you as living in the past, though.
But I did. See, that's the thing about it is now you and I have known each other, what, just 2.5 years?
Mm-hmm.
So if you would have met me 5 years ago, 100% living in the past. I wanted to live like we used to be, but both of us had changed and that didn't work anymore. And that was the realization. I had to choose to continue living in the past, or do I want to see what the future had to hold?
Yeah, but I think right now you're not living in that past.
No, I think about some of the arguments that I used to have with my ex and the crap that I thought I was over. And it's like, none of it matters anymore. So yeah, it was very interesting.
You know what I also thought?
Hmm.
you're going to have a choice that you're going to have to make soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first thing that I kind of thought that.
Interesting. We might have to discuss that afterwards. Love to hear your insight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what did you get for a compass?
So, like, this was one of the last ones that I did. I was in a forest and my compass is spinning, spinning, and wouldn't stop, you know? And I was lost in the forest and I felt fear, but not in the way that I felt fear for the word fear, because that came is more of like an anxiety of doing something. So this was fear, like I was fearing, like, will I get home? That type of thing. So I look up in the sky like the sun is going to leave me in the way, the way to get home. And I forgot which way that I should be following the sun. And then I look up again and now it's dark out, but the sky has stars. And again, I'm not sure which way I should be following the stars. And you heard it a dozen times on TV shows and stuff like this. You got to do this, but I just don't remember. And then like something spooks me, like a rustling of an animal. And so the knowing was that I got to calm down and then follow your inner guidance system. Let your intuition lead the way. So at the end of the meditation, I just spent my time trying to calm my nerves.
It's amazing how during meditations, we've experienced it before, how you can come out of a meditation, depending on what word it is, attaching that energy with it. We had anxiety and anger. I mean, didn't you have issues with anger? Or no, what
Yes.
was it?
No, it was definitely anger, yes. A
Yeah.
couple of them.
Yeah. With empowerment, that was the one that you had empowerment, and the one that you had after it, you were, to switch up those meditations. So I think it's one of those things that, you have to be careful of what mindset you're going into a meditation with and coming out of one.
Yeah. Well, who would have thought you'd leave Compass all
Anxiety
fearful?
ridden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be my last thing. Oh, Compass? Okay.
Right.
Yeah, you
Well,
just
yeah.
don't know.
And I mean, look at both of our compasses. They're completely different, but they're a little bit similar, kind of talked about, finding a way.
Yeah. Very interesting. We have our last one. I can't believe that we went through these quick today.
Yeah.
So we have cup.
Yeah. Do you want to do cup?
Sure.
Or do you want me to?
I could do it.
Okay.
So I went into the magical kitchen that I imagined for a couple of our podcast companion meditations.
Okay.
So the kitchen has this dark wood and it reminds me of a cabin, like very small and quaint. I had a teacup, like an old porcelain teacup with, decorated with flowers on like a beige background with like a very light pink. And I was there with friends and laughing and catching up and dreaming. And it was just like a feeling of love and smiles, And the tea was dark brew, like a regular Lipton black tea.
Okay.
Not like I drink right now, because I can't drink that tea anymore because it has too much caffeine. So I drink this light decaf green tea that doesn't taste like much. That was moments like these are here to be cherished. They become memories that you can look back and smile. That was my cup. How about you?
Well, okay. So I can't remember. Do you have the Lightseer deck?
Yes.
Okay. So that was my vision. It was the Ace of Cups. So it basically is a like a cup that is being held by two hands, right? And so I got a couple different versions. So I got that one, but I also got a delicate teacup, like something that you would assume would be on the queen's table, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw, for some reason, floating hearts. So I don't know what that was all about, but cups in tarot is about love and compassion, and basically it's the emotions. All right. And so I had this feeling in my chest, and it was that feeling that it's almost like it's heavy and filling, but yet light and buoyant. Does that I don't know if I'm explaining that well enough, but even though it was filled in heaviness, but it wasn't like a dark heaviness, it was a very light heaviness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And what I know is that it was important that we fill our own cup before someone else's. So, do you know that saying, my cup runneth over?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, huge saying for a long time. To me, it hit differently this time because it was them trying to explain to me the importance of what that meant to me now. Because I was always one that always gave, had nothing left, right? And so this was the importance that we fill our own cup before somebody else's, and the reminder of what that is to me now, that my cup runneth over. So you're allowed to give exponentially as long as your cup is still full. You fill from what's spilling over, not from the cup. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
It's also, it's more like you need to take care of yourself too.
Yeah. Well, and it's not in a selfish manner, because I think that gets skewed a little bit. People think she's taking care of herself, so that means that she's selfish. No, you can't give back if you're drained. And I think that's the biggest thing, is you have to take care of yourself first. I'm in this group, and one of the sayings that I'd heard in it is, I need to love myself first, most, and best.
Like that. Yes, absolutely.
And I think that those are words to live by,
Mm-hmm.
because, I mean, I was saying this to the other day to somebody, is, they were asking me if I'm dating, and I said, yeah, dating myself. And they're like, what does that mean? I said, so you know how you go to the grocery store, right? And one of the main no-nos is don't go to the grocery store hungry.
Right. Yes.
Right?
I
Why?
forgot.
Because, the things that you crave when you're hungry and you go to the grocery store, it's going to be the quick and easy fixes, right? So I took this whole mentality, if you will, and I applied it to dating. I am not going to get into a relationship unless I love myself more, because if I go into a relationship starving, I'm willing to take whatever anybody is going to give me. So if I'm desperate for love, I will take whatever shred somebody gives me. But if I love myself first, most, and best, then I'm not going to accept just any kind of breadcrumb that somebody might send me. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And that's a perfect way to think about it because people end one relationship, go directly into another relationship, or like they're desperate as well, and they don't look at the red flags. They never see them until it's too late.
No, there's a difference between, I think you see them. I think we all see them, but we ignore them. because what we need is more important than that.
Well, you turn a blind eye towards them.
Yes, 100%. That is one of those things that the whole thing with cup kind of led me down this rabbit hole, if you will, of, especially my cup runneth over, and love yourself first, first, most, and best.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but yeah. What a great mix of different words.
Yeah, and when you look at them at first, and you're like, what am I actually going to get for cup?
Right.
Like, okay.
I fully agree with you. And what you think you're going to get isn't what you get. Like for elder, I thought for sure that I was going to get something that had some kind of ancient wisdom or anything like that, but it was so simple, but still so meaningful. So
Yeah, I think we left a lot to think about when all of these.
And I think that it's important. I mean, like we were talking about, you were doing a marathon. That's why we had to scale back things, because
Yes, absolutely. We wanted to stay in a little longer and, not rush through them.
right.
It's funny though, like I did coin twice. And I did it twice because I felt, well, why didn't I get like a knowing? But I think that sometimes you're not always going to get a knowing. I think that's important to point out, because I was like kicking myself, but I don't think I was supposed to get a knowing. I think I was supposed to sit and figure it out.
Well, and I think that goes back to the whole having patience and not trying to control the outcome of things, and how smoothly things will go through if you're not trying to control the narrative. It's amazing, though, how different we get.
Sometimes we get the same,
We do.
but
Or at
yeah,
least
sometimes it's very different.
yeah, or at least kind of the same, like maybe different imagery, but same message, and sometimes it's so vastly different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think every one of these were pretty much very different, except for maybe one.
Yeah, I agree. And who knows what excitement's going to lead to out. I'll have to do that one and
Yes.
compare. Gosh. Like I said, I didn't even realize I didn't do it until we sat down to record.
Okay. As we wrap up today's episode of Messages and Motions, we invite you to sit with what resonated most for you. The subtle nudges, the insights, the feelings that may still be unfolding. These messages don't end when the episode does. They continue moving through your life, shaping how you listen, respond, and align with what's next. And remember, each word we went through today has a companion meditation that goes along with it over on our YouTube channel at Woo Woo Seekers. So if you didn't get a clear sense through one of the clairs, or if you just want to explore a word more deeply, you can always revisit it in the meditation. These meditations are a great way to connect again, practice your clairs, and notice how spirit might speak differently each time. And remember, we'd love to hear from you. To see what you got with your words, you can email us at wooseekers@gmail.com. And before we close, what are we doing next week, Becky?
Well, in our next episodes, we're going to be opening a brand new series exploring Bazi, also known as the Chinese four-pillar astrology. This ancient system helps us understand how timing, cycles, and elemental energy influence who we are and how we move through the world. The first part is about the fire horse energy of the new year. So, how Bazi reads energy, not destiny, and how knowing your chart gives language to things you've always felt but couldn't explain. We are so excited to explore this with you, and we can't wait to guide you through this new layer of understanding. And also remember that We'll also be highlighting 2 animals each month. These animals aren't going to have a meditation, but we're inviting you to notice their energy, behavior, and presence in the world around you. These words all come from our Woo Woo Seekers journal, The Guide to Getting Clarity with Your Clairs. And the 2 animals we're focusing on next month is bear and blue jay. And don't forget, our newsletter drops February 1st, delivering a complete schedule of episodes for the month. You'll get access to all the guided meditations for the new words of the month, plus some extra magic, a peek at the month's astrology happenings with simple tips to navigate the energy inside astrology aspects, and our monthly tarot tidbits where we explore the hidden meaning one card at a time. Don't miss out on our monthly dose of spiritual tools. Head over to comegetwoowoo.com and click on newsletter and subscribe today. You can email me at becky@comegetwoowoo.com or see me at mini Orapaloozas at Echo Bodine Center for Intuitive Living in Richfield, Minnesota. The next time I'll be there is February 7th. Thank you.
Thanks for getting woo-woo with us today. If something sparked a memory, a message, or just made you smile, share it with a fellow seeker because the journey is always better when you can grow together. Be sure to find us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Woo Woo Seekers so you can like, follow, and subscribe.
You can also follow us by visiting our website, comegetwoowoo.com. We are so much more than just another podcast. We're building a community of seekers just like us. We love hearing from you. If you've got signs, symbols, or stories that you want to share, email us at woowooseekers@gmail.com. Or any questions about today's episode, you can email us at comegetwoowoo@gmail.com.
Until next time, stay curious, stay open, and as always, come get woo-woo with us.